Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Gravel coming to you from Chicago, as usual, with my official Law Talk with Mike t-shirt. I got some fun clips. People in court hooked me up with the follow-up on a subset that tried to tell on Judge Bryant. That's kind of fun. We've got a pro se defendant that fails miserably. What else is new? But it's fun. It's fun to watch the train wreck. And we've got a little bit of fun times with Judge Van. The pro se was from Kristen and Traverse City. Thank you very much. Let's get this party started, shall we?
Yes, I just put them down chicken. I mean, I ain't dealing nobody. I said get out.
Okay. When they said get out, did you get out? Maybe.
Yeah, I get out. I didn't know I ain't going there. I ain't do that to nobody, Your Honor.
I'm going to give her a bond on trafficking meth.
Can I address the court?
Please.
Don't talk about your case.
Only case 02056199901. People of the state of Michigan versus Carnegie McCreary L. Today is the time for a motion hearing.
Appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor, and to your staff, Christina Ritter on behalf of the people, P number 83505.
Sir.
Colonel Michael McCreary appearing in appropriate persona.
Okay. All right. To my understanding, sir, you filed a motion to have Judge Bryant disqualified from the case. Judge Bryant denied your motion, and essentially your motion was appealed up to the chief judge, which is me. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
Okay. Argument.
Well, the argument is, sir, under Michigan Code of Judicial Conduct, the judge is in violation of Canon 1 and 2 because I'm here falsely accused for a 21-year-old woman.
I'm going to shock you. I think he does a good job of arguing this motion. I think he's wrong. I think that I covered the hearing that they're talking about. Speaking of which, somebody help me out and tell me where it is. I'm going to put a link to the first hearing in the description below, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, I covered it, and I think he was out of line, and the judge was fine. That's my recollection of it. But he doesn't say anything crazy with respect to argument of this motion. He says about what you would say.
And I try to speak, and she acts like Judge Judy. She just constantly cuts you off, is threatening so far as
except for she acts like Judge Judy. Okay, that's goofy. What he's saying is she's over the top and she won't let me talk. That's all.
Be quiet. Canon 2, it says public confidence in the judiciary is eroded by irresponsible and improper conduct by judges. A judge must avoid all impropriety and appearance of impropriety. A judge
also can't pronounce judiciary, but that's okay. That's okay. That's the least of his problems.
Must expect to be the subject of constant public scrutiny. A judge must therefore accept restrictions on conduct that might be viewed as burdensome by the ordinary citizen and should do so freely and willingly, Judge. And I come to court very respectful. I'm a 51-year-old man, and I respect the system. But I'm feeling that I'm being given, disrespect. I'm being silenced. I mean, I have a right under the free speech to petition the court for redress of grievances and things of that nature.
Thank you. Big shout out to people in court who did provide this video to me. I didn't know about it because there have been so many other soft sits in the last few days. I don't know why. There's a soft sit invasion. I'm trying to deal with all of it.
And if you look at the TV show Judge Judy, this is how she acts, Judge. And I mean, it's totally wrong. And she asked me what did I want to do with the case. I said I would like to challenge jurisdiction because I went to prison in 2002 for 15 years and 8 months. They had under the rule, I believe for misdemeanors 40-something days, for felonies it's 6 months. So I request that the prosecutor prove its authority in bringing these charges so late. And I have been home 6.5 years, productive in the community, no problems, and I'm trying to do right, Judge. I made past mistakes when I was a young man, and I'm just being treated like I'm just a criminal. I'm supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? So I'm not trying to disrupt this court. I'm not trying to.
Here's the problem. He is a criminal. He's got a record and everything, but this particular charge is pretty bad. It's like 6 years old. It's real shaky. He could get rid of this charge if he had a brain in his head and argued the right thing as opposed to jurisdiction.
To cause you guys hardships or anything, things of that nature. And my due process is being violated. That's all. I want to just get this case so it wouldn't be left alone. I'm a grandfather. I have children. And their DPD has retaliated against the judge. And I know this is a Detroit police court. And I would like an investigation as to things that's been going on by the prosecutor's office, because Kim Worthy and her subordinates are retaliating against me. There's actual proof. At this point, I don't know if you're familiar with Bill Proctor. He's representing me in this matter and another matter so far as investigations for years of, hard.
Bill Proctor. Oh, yeah, Bill Proctor. He's right up there with the fly lawyer. Okay, I'm kidding. I don't know who Bill Proctor is.
Hardships and tyranny committed against me by the system here in Wayne County. So this is all I want, a fair shake judge, a judge who's going to give me due process and give me what I'm entitled to according to law. And that's it, sir.
Okay. Ms. Ritter, would you like to respond in any way?
Judge, the only response that people have is that this is a case from 2002. It's a misdemeanor assault and battery case. Judge, from my recollection of the prior hearing with Judge Bryant, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it was an arraignment process. And as the court was trying to proceed with the process, I do remember Mr. McQuarrie interrupting the judge while she was trying to make the record. But the people have not gotten to the point where, because Mr. Carnell was disruptive during the proceedings, the people didn't get to the point where there was another pretrial date set where the people could actually see if we're able to move forward on this 2002 case, Judge.
Okay.
Have a rebuttal.
Yes.
Okay, Judge, I would like you, if it's possible, I know you guys are on Zoom, so you should have access to recordings of these hearings and things of that nature. I believe that the prosecutor just fabricated facts to you because I was not rude to this lady. All I asked her is, she said, what do you want to be done with this case? I said, I would like to challenge jurisdiction. And Michigan and federal law requires.
I just don't know what I called it, but we have the whole thing here on Law Talk with Mike. I can't remember what video it is, but I remember him.
Once jurisdiction is challenged, it must be proven. How is it that the prosecutor knows statute of limitations? They're licensed. I'm not licensed. I've studied for years in prison. And they don't know that there's a statute of limitations. This is vindictive prosecution because of my complaints against Kim Worthy, right? And the record will reflect the evidence.
Yeah, he did just try to make the argument that his years of prison study are better than their legal educations. Mm-hmm.
Object to her statements.
Okay, one second. One second, sir. I have to shut off my video for 10 seconds and be right back. I'm having a little technical difficulty right now. So.
Yes.
All right. Court having had a chance to hear the arguments of the moving party as well as the arguments of the prosecutor. The moving party is asking for a recusal or to have Judge Bryant disqualified based on Michigan Canons 1 and 2, based on that she is biased as well as is not allowing a person to be able to basically argue their case. The moving party is stating that he wants to challenge jurisdiction and that he was not allowed to do so. The prosecutor is stating that there was only a proceeding at an arraignment and that the prosecution hasn't even got to the point where they have established whether they want to move forward with the case, but that was not allowed to happen because in their view, there was disruption in the court and there was a breakdown. The moving party is disputing that. He's saying that you could even that I could go to the video with tapes to dispute that. At this time, the court is not going to make a decision at this point. I am going to pull the tape, pull the transcript. I'm going to make a decision very quickly on this. I'm not going to let this continue. And even based on, the court does have an opinion, probably on the likelihood of prosecution on a 21-year-old case. So we're going to come back on, we're going to come back on July 6th at 10 a.m. Please check your schedule, sir.
May I also, you say July 6th, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
May I also, if I may,
check your schedule first. Check your schedule to see are you available for that time.
I'm available. I'm stuck here on tether, sir. I'm available at any time you guys want me to.
Okay. All right. Well, put on your schedule for 10 o'clock on July 6th.
Okay, can I say one more thing? If you look at Crampton versus Michigan Department of State 395, Michigan 347 and 351, it says the United States Supreme Court disqualified judges and decision makers without a showing of actual bias in situations where experience teaches that the probability of actual bias on the part of the judge or decision maker is too high to be constitutionally tolerable. And I'm not saying like trying to attack Judge Bryant or whatever else, but she has an attitude like Judge Judy. She just cuts you off, and I'm just like, so when she kept doing it, this is when I objected and asked her to recuse herself, sir. But
Understood. And sir, and again, as the chief judge, I don't have to have a showing of actual bias, but perceived bias, something in the fairness of justice. That is my standard. So with that being said, 10 a.m. on July 6th, this is.
All right, very good. Well, this is the time and place for an informal hearing.
Okay, I think I've already had this Judge Kindergarten school teacher here. She is too nice, but she's good. She's excellent, but she's got that sweet voice. And we've got this guy in Northern Michigan trying to defend himself, and it doesn't go well.
On citation number 23-95096, we have both parties here. The purpose of this is for me to determine if you're responsible or not responsible, Mr. Lewis. So what I'll do is swear both of you in. And once we accomplish that, we'll start with plaintiff, Deputy Martin, giving me his side of the facts. And then when he concludes, it will be your opportunity to give me your side of the facts. If you have questions for each other, please don't interrupt one another while you're talking, and potentially just ask the questions through me. Once all of the testimony is concluded, I'll refer to my notes and render a decision. It's based completely on preponderance of the evidence, which quite literally is a tipping of the scales. I just have to be swayed 51% of the way one way. So with that being said, if each of you would please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give me is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Lewis, you're muted.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Sorry about
thank
that.
you. That's okay. Thank you for unmuting. All right. Deputy Martin, would you please begin?
On the May 16th, 23, at 3 a.m. in the morning, I observed Mr. Lewis stopped on the side of the road near Lake of the Woods Road. When I drove by Mr. Lewis' vehicle, it appeared he was like hunched over the wheel, so I turned around and conducted basically a motor assist traffic stop. I walked up to the passenger side of the window, Mr. Lewis's vehicle, asked him if everything was all right. While speaking with Mr. Lewis, he stated that he was looking for directions. He is from East Jordan, and he was looking for directions to get back towards East Jordan. Talking further with Mr. Lewis, he just seemed like he was confused and possibly under the influence. While I was speaking with Mr. Lewis, I observed marijuana on a tray in the front seat of the vehicle.
I was going to go to East Jordan, but then I got high. His explanation is fantastic.
I smelled the odor of intoxicant from Mr. Lewis. So I asked Mr. Lewis to step out of his vehicle, brought him back to the front of my vehicle, performed a Terry pat on him, didn't discover any weapons.
Thank you.
Started to perform the standard field sobriety test on Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis did a couple passes at HGN and refused to continue on with standard field sobriety tests. So I offered Mr. Lewis PBT multiple times and explained, if he blew under the legal limit, he would have been able to go home. Mr. Lewis refused, so I went back. I placed Mr. Lewis and detained him. I went back to my car, grabbed my DI-177, and at that time I read Mr. Lewis his standard PBT rights and advised him in Antrim County it's a $205 citation. And Mr. Lewis still refused. In the process, Mr. Lewis refused the DI-177. and I contacted you for a search warrant and obtained a blood draw.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy. And Mr. Lewis, I know you're in the comfort of your home, but if you would please refrain from smoking. We are in my courtroom.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, Mr. Lewis, would you please give me your side of the facts?
I was called to help a buddy while I was in bed. I went to, it was not Harbor Springs, but over Quaden. It's a boat launch area where they do docks and stuff. And I picked up Michael Blanton, who is also
Harbor Springs is some kind of pretty. It's a nice little town. That whole coast is nice.
currently in rehab for drinking. He was drinking in the vehicle on the way from there to Mansalona, where I dropped him off at.
So it's his naughty. He tries to push everything on his friend. I love this. He was drinking. He messed up my whole vibe.
He told me to go down to the end of his road and take a right, and it would take me into Bel Air. I went down his road, took a right, and I ended up on a dirt road. So I pulled over on the side of the road where it was pavement, and I was currently in the park position looking at my phone for directions because you're not allowed to operate your vehicle and cell phone at the same time. I did apply.
I'm just such a law-abiding citizen. I pulled over so I could safely operate my cell phone. Okay.
To part of the roadside test because the lights, like I said, because of my seizures when it comes to lights and things like that, I haven't had an episode in a little over 2 years, which then I applied for my license and got it. Because you have to have over a year and a half seizure free to obtain your license. Like the officer said, it was 3-something in the morning. I was up since 5:30 when I had to be to work at 6. I did refuse a roadside PBT. I did not refuse the DMT, the data master, at the jail. I did tell him if he wanted to draw my blood, he would have to have a search warrant, which is within my legal rights. Even in the civil department that I've been reading on. But other than that, I mean, I know you can smell alcohol. I just had an alcoholic in my vehicle. And yes, I did have a tray of marijuana that was sitting, and it wasn't on the center console, it was underneath the center console.
So So, Judge, I just had an alcoholic in my vehicle. Of course, it's going to smell like alcohol. And yes, I did have a tray of marijuana, but it's not where the officer said it was. Oh, do tell. Do tell.
Out of reach of the driver. And I did do a PBT while I was incarcerated in the jail upon arrival before I was searched or booked into the holding cell, drunk tank.
Okay, you just made another admission. I did a breathalyzer at the jail. They don't have the result of this. Even the cop doesn't. They don't have the result of that breathalyzer. But then he said, I did that before I was booked into the drunk tank. Okay, so the officers at the jail thought you were drunk. Well played, sir. Well played.
And I also told them that I was never served with a warrant. I did submit willingly to my blood test at the hospital, and I submitted willingly to a PBT at the police station. I did refuse on the roadside DUI to mental health and previous broken femur because walking a straight line, even in the morning when I'm wide awake, with the way my leg is and the way my boots are, it's not happening. I was in a motorcycle accident when I was 22, and I was in a coma for almost 2.5 months.
Okay, does that conclude your testimony, sir?
Yes, it does, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Deputy Martin, do you have anything
That
to
rousing
add
defense.
or comment
The
on?
only thing I have is Mr. Lewis was offered multiple times roadside. It's on body cam. It's on Deputy Plum's body cam also. And when I offered Mr. Lewis a breath test roadside, it's on body cam. He refused it. I reviewed it all before this hearing.
Okay.
He was
thank
offered a
you.
PBT at the jail, and that's for medical purposes only. I don't know the results of that PBT.
I know the results because the defendant just said the result was that he was placed in the drunk tank.
Okay. Mr. Lewis, I was listening quite intently to everything you were saying, and during part of your testimony, you say you admit that you did refuse a PBT roadside.
Yes, I did refuse a personal breathalyzer test on the roadside. I did not refuse the data master system at the jail.
Okay. Well, given the fact that you admit that you refused the PBT roadside, I do find you responsible. There are some fines and costs
I'm shocked.
associated with this. I will be sending some paperwork to you. Is your mailing address this Loop Road address?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay. I appreciate you both taking part in this. Do you have any questions at this time?
I do not.
My only
Okay,
question.
thank you.
I don't really have figured out how to phrase it or where I'm trying to find what I've seen. Well, in the legal paperwork for Michigan, I was reading about, it said that you can refuse the roadside test. As a Michigan licensed driver, you are currently an alcohol blood. But you can't refuse a data master or whatever it is.
You already lost.
Please frequently ask someone they have stopped and suspicion of driving while intoxicated to complete a PBT, since this test helps to calibrate their suspicions. You are free to politely decline and not required to agree. By declining the PBT, you stop the gathering of data and can't. Says basically you can be arrested, but it's not against a civil infraction to refuse a PBT. You'll have to pay some small fines, but if the purpose of the roadside breath test is unitedly to establish probable cause for an arrest. So I don't know if I'm reading this wrong or what I'm not understanding, but I did one at the jail.
You already lost, and yes, you're reading it wrong.
Wouldn't that be the master database thing?
So I don't have any paperwork on the data master. I do have a copy of the blood search warrant, and you did admit to me that you refused the roadside PBT, which is the basis for the civil infraction.
Okay.
You are permitted to seek to call the court clerk and ask that this go to a formal hearing if you don't agree with what my decision is.
Okay.
So you do have that right if you want to call and find out what you need to do. But I do find you responsible, and I'll send this paperwork out to the Sloop Road address. Thank you.
All right. Question. I have tried to get my ID, and they're saying because my license is suspended that I can't receive my ID. So how do I go about that?
It from the Secretary of State or from the Sheriff's Office?
From the Secretary of State, ma'am.
Okay, so so the Secretary of State is a completely different entity than the district
Okay.
court.
All right.
So you'll have to check with them.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Bye now.
Yes, thanks for playing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, you too.
Judge, we asked for
Right to
obviously
the
no
T.
contact with the victim. I don't know if it's the same one or not.
unblind it.
T,
I didn't see an order, but
when the light comes
is it the same
on,
victim? Same victim as the other case?
I don't know. I was closed out of it.
I would almost hazard a guess.
Come here. You, come here. You stand right here.
Why so angry? Why so serious?
Oh, I'm sorry.
state your name, ma'am.
Tracy Williams.
Stamper, it's your Friday.
It is. It is absolutely right.
Relax. Ms. Williams, you're fully court charged of child neglect and failure to report abuse. You understand the charges?
Yes.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender representing you. Any question about that? Deputy, criminal history?
She shows no history.
On the child neglect, bond's $100,000. On the failure to report abuse, $100,000. Court date's going to be August the 7th at 9 o'clock. No contact directly, indirectly, or through a third party alleged victim
We'd also ask for no contact with their co-defendant, Judge.
or co-defendant.
Step to your right to the T. When the light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, ma'am. State your name.
Lori April Johnson.
Johnson, you're fully court charged of violation of probation for what was originally burglary of an unoccupied structure in front of Judge Stevenson. You understand that charge, ma'am?
Judge
That's the
Bryant.
charge, yes, sir.
Stand it.
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify for the services of the public defender's office. I'm going to
Yes,
appoint
sir.
the public defender to represent you, so you have an attorney now.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Judge Stevenson set your bond at $10,000. Your court date is July the 26th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Can I
ma'am.
get a bond reduction?
Ma'am, you've got a bond on a VOP in felony court. You should just thank him.
Yes, sir. Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Step to your right. Next. Red X, ma'am. State your name.
Ma'am, before the court, charged with resisting officer with violence and loitering or prowling. Do you understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, ma'am?
Correct.
Based on your application, you've indicated you're going to hire your own attorney or represent yourself. Is that how you're going to proceed?
She's a prowler.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Deputy, criminal history?
21 DWSR, Grand Theft Auto. 1, 2, 3, 4 batteries, 1 resisting with, 1 battery on officer. 17 false ID, controlled substance paraphernalia, VOP. 16 DUI, child neglect, FTA, and somewhere else in Florida you have some history.
I also have the 316 and 20 month sentence for outrunning the police of Antioch.
Hmm?
And I mean, they chased me with a cross of Antioch. This is not a lie.
Okay.
I
On
did a
10,000 resisting
16 to 20 month sentence.
2,500 on the loitering. Court date's going to be July the 24th at 9 o'clock.
All right, ma'am. You can step out.
Why?
Why would
Why
I
not?
don't understand. Is there any way we can, I mean, first of all, I own the houses that I was in the mailbox in. I do, and I can prove that. Sir, I
You
can't.
can't swing at a cop.
I did not. He had me on the ground face first. I
Okay.
swear to you.
Okay.
Please, 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 please reconsider that. Please, ROR me. Please, I'm begging you. I want to go home to my kids. I do. Please, sir.
I don't reconsider that. Don't. You may go.
Next. Yeah, we'll bring it.
You had a bond. I gave you a bond.
Huh?
We'll bring it.
I gave you a bond.
Okay.
Next. Red X.
Stan bro?
State your name.
Was
Yeah, I know.
Was there an elevator problem?
I'm not doing this. You're being taped.
Did the elevator top floor?
You're being taped. I'm not doing this.
You're also before the court charge of possession. I'm trying to trafficking methamphetamine more than 28 grams and possession of paraphernalia. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify for the service of the public defender's office. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
Thank you.
I'm the attorney visit.
Deputy, criminal history?
Domestic 20, DUI 16, less than 2016, history to 5.
What do you want to tell me?
Her father's in the hospital and I sleep.
No, because she's got trafficking meth.
Is it one? Sir.
I'm going to give her a bond on trafficking meth.
Can I address the court?
Please.
Don't talk about your case. Said your family defender.
On the trafficking more than 28 grams, bond's 100,000. On the paraphernalia, 1,000. Court date is August the 17th at 9 o'clock with random UAs. Good luck, ma'am.
Thanks.
Step to your right to the T, ma'am. When the light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
This would work better if you had a triangle point toward the monitor.
It'll work better if you came and did it.
I'll come over there and do it then. Okay. Deal. Mr. Jackson, you're for the court charge of criminal mischief. $200 and under. You understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been giving copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. That's true, sir?
What you say, sir?
You've been advised of your rights today?
Yes, sir.
You got a copy of the paperwork?
Sir?
Have you got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes, sir. And could I say something real quick, please, sir?
Please do.
Sir, I have 2 jobs. Like, I'm supposed to be at work today. And it's like, sir, I'm trying my hardest. I just got into an argument with my mom, sir. And it's all over me getting 2 jobs. I have 2 jobs and I need to play the stage and something like that. And I don't want this to set me back, sir, because of my attitude.
It's going to set you back. And let's be honest, it's going to set you back.
Yeah, it done set me back. I would just like to keep my job, like, and I can't do nothing because I'm not from here, and I'm the only one I got out here. Like I have me, my girl, and my mom. She want to help me, but she want me to leave the girl on with to help me. But she the one taking me to work,
maybe
and I
mom
got
knows best. You ever think that mom knows best?
I mean, not when it comes to me and her, because we always argue.
Okay, all right. Well, then you don't need mom's help. All right, Deputy, come on, history.
19, petty theft, felony bat. 18, felony petty theft. That's not locally. It's somewhere else. Petty theft.
That was years ago.
16, domestic, less than 20, FTA, and 15.
Bonds 1,500. No contact alleged victim. Court date July 3rd at 1 o'clock.
And Judge, when you say alleged victim, just so Mr. Jackson's aware, this is the place of business, right? Or do you want his mom?
1,500.
So how much is that?
I think this is
Between you and the boss,
okay.
it's generally 10%, which is 150, but that's between you and the bondsman. You can step to your right.
So I can get ROR?
No.
Sign where the light is for your copy, sir.
Will I be able to use the phone?
Yeah, when you get back. Next. State your name, sir. Your name?
Francis Fitzgerald.
Francis Scott Fitzgerald?
Yes, sir.
Very rarely do we have. Mr. Fitzgerald, you're before the court charge driving license suspended, revoked, no motorcycle endorsement on license, and false ID to a law enforcement officer. Do you understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. That's true?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm sorry, you don't qualify, but the law recognizes your financial situation may change, in which case you can reapply later. All right. Deputy, criminal history?
Nothing since 17. That was a DUI, DWLSR, and a reckless.
On the driving license, suspended, revoked, bonds $1,500. The no motorcycle endorsement is $500. False ID to a law enforcement officer is $1,500.
Water
It's going
today.
to be July 3rd at 1 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right to the T.
Excuse me?
Step to your right to the T.
I'm sorry, I just didn't hear you.
Oh, you're fine. Next. Ready, sir? I am. State your name, sir.
Mr. Mills, before the court charge of habitual DWSR, possession less than 20 grams of marijuana, and possession of paraphernalia. You understand those charges, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mills, I understand you've been given copies of paperwork, advised of your rights. Based on your application, I find that you do qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the Public Defender to represent you. Any question about that?
He gave you a public defender.
Deputy, criminal history?
20 less than 20 DUI and paraphernalia, 18 and 19 a battery. DWLSR in Georgia, 20 and 21.
All right, Mr. Mills, on the habitual DWLSR, that's a felony, bonds $5,000. The marijuana is $1,500. The paraphernalia is $1,000. Your court date's going to be July the 17th at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right to the T, sir. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Carmichael. Ready? State your name.
Mr. Carmichael, you're before the court charge of aggravated child abuse and failure to report child abuse. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
This one's nasty. He handles it well, but it's nasty.
Sir?
You got a
You've
copy
been
of your
advised of your
paperwork?
rights then? Sir? All right. You got a copy of your paperwork, right?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, you make too much money to qualify for a public defender, but the law recognizes your financial situation may change, and you're welcome to reapply later. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Deputy, criminal history?
15 DV bats, 18 DV bat by strangulation, 19 felony bat, burglary, criminal mischief, and a VLP. That's it.
What do you want to say?
Oh, he does have a job.
Is that where this happened?
Story I've talked to of it over the last week. What you're reading,
Well, I know the kid's really hurt.
well, that I don't know. I mean, I know he was in the hospital and he's out now, and I guess he's good.
Yeah.
So, his parents dropped him off with him and his fiance.
Okay, the whole honest truth is he's got a subdural hematoma that is showing that it's been healing over and over again, repeatedly. That's the honest truth, along with other issues.
I think that was done before.
Okay.
That's
All right. Well,
what I said. I mean, just
Yeah.
he does have a job.
okay. Bond set at $150,000 on aggravated child abuse, $100,000 on felony to report. Court date's going to be August the 7th at 9 o'clock. No contact directly, indirectly, through a third party, alleged victim or co-defendant.
Step to your right to the T.
Sure was.
Next.
Okay.
Next. State your name.
Mr. Andrade, before the court charge of manufacturing paraphernalia, you understand that charge? Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true? Based on your application, finds you do qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender to represent you. Any question about that?
Yes, sir.
Deputy, criminal history?
21 loitering and proud FTA, 20 meth paraphernalia, 18 grand theft, and that's it.
Funds 2,500. Court date's going to be July the 17th at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right to the T. Next. Pope. George. Yeah, okay. 3 days. State your name. Your name.
George Pope.
Mr. Pope, before the court charge of battery and aggravated battery, you understand the charges? I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. That's true? I'm sorry, aggravated assault.
Yes.
You've been advised of your rights today?
Yes, sir.
You got a copy of the paperwork?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, if I want you do qualify, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the Public Defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Deputy, criminal history?
17 domestic, 15 cocaine with intent, paraphernalia, 11 loitering, battery, trespass, sex offense. It goes back to 01.
Sex offense.
Just say lewdness.
Bond said 5,000 battery, 5,000 aggravated assault. Court date is August the 17th at 9 o'clock. No contact directly, indirectly, or through a third party alleged victim.
Right. Step to your right to the T. Yep, step on the T. Next. We are when green light come on. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Mr. Kelly, before the court charge of possession of fraud and driver's license, possession less than 20 grams of marijuana, and possession of paraphernalia. You understand those charges?
This one's interesting. He's got some fraudulent Jamaican driver's license. I don't know. I don't know if they're. I don't know what the deal is. You guys tell me in the chat.
What's the finale?
You understand what you're charged with?
I don't understand the finale thing.
The what?
The P where these open.
Paraphernalia?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just anything that is used to ingest or contain a substance to be used in the body, like a pipe, a bong, a baggie.
Or the baggie that it came in.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really the least of your worries. Don't worry about the paraphernalia charge. All right. Deputy, criminal history?
Shows no history with no social.
He does qualify for a public defender. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent him on the felony fraudulent driver's license. Bond's 2,500. The pot's 1,500. Paraphernalia is 1,000. Court date's going to be August the 7th at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right to the T. Mr. Sims declined to make your acquaintance today.
That is unfortunate.
You should have no objection to my motion, Judge.
Weekend. All right. He doesn't qualify for a public defender. Do we have a criminal history, Mr. Sims?
21, false ID, controlled substance, marijuana less than 20. 19, FDA times 2 count, meth less than 20, he had a sentence. 18, FDA, keeping up public nuisance structure, methamphetamine, paraphernalia. It goes back to 2008 locally.
Bond's 150 on the trafficking on fentanyl. 2,500 on the possession of marijuana, 5,000 tampering, 1,000 paraphernalia, and I'm granting the state's nebia.
Thank you. Next.
What's the question? A lot. He got bail. Oh, for who?
What?
For Mr. 5,000 for Mr. Kelly.
What was Sam's court date? Oh. Sam's court date.
23rd of July.
Thank you.
All right, is this Mr. McLean?
Yes, sir.
Mr. McLean, you're before the court on a habitual driving license suspended revoked. Do you understand that charge?
Sir, I have papers saying that my license are valid from the DMV from 2 weeks ago. That's why I'm not understanding my license are suspended. Like I actually have papers from the DMV saying my license are valid from child support. So I had court, and I had court for obstruction to it was some type of.
Hey,
court
Judge,
that I
give me
told-
2 seconds because I'm running
She's gonna
the
look it up.
DDM.
Yeah, please, can you do that for me?
5, 4, 3, 2, 8.
Because I have papers saying that my license are valid.
Did you go through the process of getting it reinstated?
Yes, sir. I did all that. My license, my insurance at the same time.
And
That's
Judge,
why I'm
it
not
looks like on the
understanding.
DMV website, it is valid. That is what it is showing. So if you could just ROR him and then he can bring us a hard
Okay.
copy on Monday. Or, I'm sorry, we're closed Monday. He needs to bring it Wednesday.
Take it to the state attorney's office Wednesday. Yeah. All right, August the 17th, your court date, 9 o'clock. I'm RORing you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Step on the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Fred Exter, state your name.
Mr. Wooster, you're before the court charged with possession of meth, possession of paraphernalia, loitering or prowling, and possession of burglary tools. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir. All I'm doing is sit behind a dumpster with a girl, though. That's all I'm doing.
Well, and how many times have you been told that that's what gets you in trouble?
Sir?
How many times have you been
Sir.
told that's what gets us all in trouble?
Yes, sir. I don't think I knew better. So I'm alone,
Okay.
sir. I'll come to court if you let me out, sir. I promise.
Based
Not
on your
on probation.
application? You're on probation?
No, sir. I'm not on probation
Oh.
or anything.
Okay. I was like, based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender representative, so you have an attorney now. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Yes, criminal history?
Judge, he's just chilling behind a dumpster with a girl.
21 FTA para, 15 ag bat, prefer accessory homicide,
What could go wrong?
2009 ag bat, false ID. It goes back to 97 locally.
I've been being good, y'all. I've been out of prison for about 5 years now. I ain't gotten any trouble.
It's a debit-only relationship. We don't get you any credit for doing what you're supposed to do.
Yes, sir. I know. Please give me a
Debit
chance. I'll
only.
come.
It's like marriage. It's just like marriage. You can come home
Yes, sir.
every weekend for 2 years. You go missing for 1 weekend. That's all she wants to talk about. All right. On the possession of meth, bonds 5,000. The paraphernalia is 1,000. The loitering or prowling is 1,000. The burglary tools, 1,500. Court date's going to be August the 17th at 9 o'clock with random UAs. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right, sir. Fred Exter, state your name.
Shane Roberts?
Yes, sir, I know.
Mr. Roberts, before the court, charged with possession of a fraudulent ID and no valid driver's license. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe this is the one I was thinking of earlier, but they really get into this fraudulent driver's license, but it's the second one on this call.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir, I know.
All right. You don't want a public defender, right? You want to represent yourself or hire an attorney?
You want an attorney?
He said no. He can apply later. Deputy criminal history?
He had a alien inadmissibility in California in 22. And that's it. No other social to confirm.
You from Jamaica?
Yes, sir.
How'd you get to California with inadmissibility? Don't answer that. Don't worry about it. Just
I got a
run 2,500 on the false or the fraudulent ID. 1,000 on the no valid. Court date's going to be August the 7th at 9 o'clock. I can understand if you had that here in Florida. It's easier to get here from Jamaica.
All right. Step to your right, to the T. But just, huh?
I only have one charge.
How many charges are you showing for him? We're showing one. You showing two?
I'm showing two. I've got a no valid in addition to the fraudulent.
Let's see your paperwork.
I got one charge.
We can send it over.
No,
We got
he
it.
got two. He got two. He got it. We just didn't have it.
That's a
He got
problem on
two.
your side.
Not my side. I don't work down there.
I got a question.
Just the citation looks different.
I got a question, Your Honor.
What's your question?
My question is, I pay my ticket on my driver's license before, full time, and the cops say my driver's license invalid. I don't know why my driver's license is real. I get it from the tax office in Jamaica.
Two problems. Driver's license looks sketch because it doesn't have the holograms and things like that they're looking for when they look at a real license. So that's problem
Your driver's license looks sketch. Let's start there.
number one. The other problem is you can't drive on it here. So you got two problems. I'm not saying it's real or it's not real. I'm saying that they don't think it's real. The second problem, though, is even if it was real, they wouldn't let you drive on it.
It's not legal.
You're working in Florida, you got to get a Florida PDL.
No problem, fair answer.
All right, step over to your right. State your name, sir.
Mr. Heyman, you're for the court on a violation of community control for what was originally possession of meth ×2, possession of hydrocodone ×2. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. You're held without bond. Your court date is July the 19th at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
I love that date. Next.
You going to work that day?
You ever seen me work that day?
No.
Even grammar knows I'm not doing it.
No. Is this Mr. Palmer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Palmer, you're fully court on a violation of probation for lewd and lascivious conduct, burglary, and grand theft. You understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you so you have an attorney. You're held without bond. Your court date is July the 26th at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Next step to your right. Here you go. State your name.
Brandon Powell.
Mr. Powell, you're fully court charged with domestic violence battery. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, sir?
Yes.
All right, sir. Based on your application, I find that you do qualify for the services of the public defender's office. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Deputy Criminal History?
Battery in 20, DWLSR, resist, flee and loot, VOP, 17, grand theft ×2, 15, grand theft auto, 13.
Bond set at 5,000. Court date is July the 3rd at 1 o'clock. No contact directly, indirectly, or through a third party with Amber Nicole Holt.
Next step to your right, sir. Next. Red X. State your name.
Cooper, Terry, how you doing?
This guy, we had him in the intro. This guy's my favorite because I can't understand a damn thing he says. I get what he's trying to say, but I can't understand the words.
How you doing, Mr. Cooper?
I'm here.
Mr. Cooper, you're fully court charged trespass and disorderly conduct. You understand those charges?
Yes, I just went in there chicken. I mean, I ain't dealing nobody. I said get out.
Okay. When they said get out, did you get out?
Maybe. Yeah, I get out. I didn't know I ain't going there. I didn't do that to nobody, Your Honor. I didn't.
Okay.
I did. I didn't get to nobody. I won't go back there no more. I won't never go back there no more. You better believe that.
Terry, you gonna be in court on Monday if I let you out?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to get out?
Yeah, well, yeah. I ain't did that.
Yeah, just to let you know, he just got time served on the 23rd.
I know. But it'll be Judge Grammer's problem, not Judge Vance's problem. Terry, you better show up or Judge Grammer come looking for you. You understand?
All right. All right.
Release him on his own recognizance. Judge Grammer starts court at 1 o'clock. You need to be there at 12:45.
All right. All right. I'll be there.
July 3rd at 1 o'clock.
All right.
Thank you, Judge. I think that's everybody.
All right.
All right, that's the wrap.
Have fun with this weekend, everyone.
I'll miss you.
Have a great weekend.
I thought I was coming to enjoy this, but
Well, there you have it. Have a good weekend, everybody. Those are the clips I had. What do we have? We had a little follow up on Lanice Bryant. That's under advisement. I like Judge Bryant's chances on that one. I really do. We had the Northern Michigan guy assert the defense. It was twofold defense. I had an alcoholic in my car, and yes, I had a tray of marijuana, but it was not where the officer said it was. And then we had Judge Van. Good times. Thank y'all for coming out. I'll see y'all soon.